Hey, what's up? It's SavePoint, aka Rob, and I want to talk to you about why we created Jazz Hop Standards with my friend Patrick. You'll learn more about my musical history and how we met through our mutual love of video games and jazz over the last decade in Iraq, of all places. Back in the early aughts, I used to play a lot of video games.
Let's do this, Leroy!
Peak StarCraft and Diablo 2 era, and play piano and guitar in various punk and rock and jazz bands throughout school and college. I got into jazz music much earlier though through my parents, and my grandfather was mentored and did sessions with the famous jazz drummer, Gene Krupa. I'm a big fan of Gene's work, as well as Dave Brubeck, Charlie Parker, just to name another few inspirations. When I hit 22, I enlisted in the military and I was sent overseas to Iraq. While serving overseas, there was a fair amount of downtime, so I would play StarCraft 2. The base had great internet speeds. We'd download music and hang out at the base's chapel, where they had a lot of instruments to jam on. And this is where I met Patrick. He would often see me with FL Studio open, Fruity Loops back in the day. I would be producing random songs and he would always ask if he could listen in. We got to know each other pretty well, found out that we both had a mutual love for jazz and video games, and the rest was history. Jump forward to 2021, and Curaga has been going for a few months. I found out that Patrick had left his job in IT to pursue more musical ventures with his time. I had rearranged the classic jazz standard, All the Things You Are, for my wife and I's anniversary into a jazz hop format. I remember sending it over to Patrick for his thoughts, and he responded with, "What if we take your jazz hop rendition of All the Things You Are and rearrange the original jazz melody into a recognizable video game melody?" And this is how Jazz Hop Standards was formed. To say writing and producing the album was a smooth experience would be a lie. We had a lot of problems. Our schedules were never aligning, we both had kids, and that's just the start. One big challenge was to find the right video game melody to sit over the popular chord progression. We wanted it to sound as good to everyone's ears and remain true to the original progression. We didn't want to remix any games that we hadn't played before. It wouldn't feel genuine to us. Another layer to this was to use a video game melody that we could license, as some companies won't allow you to use their melodies. Finally, one of the hardest setbacks after finishing 5 songs was we took it to the boss and had all 5 of them rejected due to overly expensive licensing costs on the video game melodies we did want to use. Once we were close to finishing the album, the end of project jitters started to kick in. That slow feeling of anxiety creeping up, thinking to myself, what happens now? Not only was I the producer of this album, but as Curaga's manager and 3D artist, I had to take care of the artwork, data entry, distribution, manufacturing, all those back-end tasks that ensure a successful release. Also, spreadsheets. Lots and lots of spreadsheets. On top of it all, I was moving my family across the country. Stress would be an understatement. Once everything had been written and recorded, we spent many days and nights mixing and mastering the album. Just a simple idea that had formed a few years ago in my old house, finally finished. I learned a lot from the experience. My skill at mixing live instruments like Patrick's double bass, my writing and production skills overall, stepping out of my comfort zone and diving into something with full focus and attention. Every skill had leveled up. A lot of love, sweat, and tears went into this album. From Patrick and myself, we really hope you enjoy Jazz Hop Standards as much as we loved making it. You can listen to the record here, or grab the vinyl, cassette tape, or CD from the link below. Thanks for your time, and I'll catch you soon.